your snacking routine can get a little dull. Time for an Oikos remix. Like a crunchy storm of sea salt praline pretzels, dark chocolate, and butter toffee, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 3 Oikos Remix varieties with epic mix-ins and 11 grams of complete protein per 4.5-ounce serving. See RemixYogurt.com.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Well, folks, it seems Mayor Eric Adams is once again making headlines for what some may say are all the wrong reasons. The news broke that Adams accepted a last-minute invitation to attend Donald Trump's inauguration after receiving a call at 2 a.m. from Steve Witkoff, a billionaire real estate executive and Trump ally. By 3 a.m., Adams was on the road to D.C., leaving behind Martin Luther King Jr. Day events in New York City, including the 94th birthday of Reverend Daughtry, his mentor and the man that persuaded him to become a cop, supposedly. Now, let's unpack this. Adams, facing 5 federal corruption charges and an upcoming trial in April, has been cozying up to Trump. Just last week, he had lunch with Trump at his Florida golf course. Witkoff, of course, was there, too. Adams says they didn't discuss his legal case, which I don't believe, but come on. Who's buying that? Trump has floated the idea of pardoning Adams, and it's no secret the mayor could use one. Now, personally, I think Trump should, unlike Biden, make him go on trial first and see what a jury decides before making a decision on a pardon. The timing and optics of this trip are no accident. On Martin Luther King Day, instead of honoring King's legacy with fellow New Yorkers, Adams chose to sit in the overflow section at Trump's inauguration. As public advocate Jumaane Williams put it, this wasn't about protecting New York, it was about protecting Eric Adams. And let's not ignore the political maneuvering at play. Adams is in trouble with his own party. The Democratic field for the mayoral race is crowded, and his path to re-election looks bleak. But if you think Adams is ready to hang up his political aspirations, think again. It wouldn't surprise me if he's considering a Republican run for mayor. After all, he was a registered Republican back in the 90s, and his newfound friendship with Trump could set the stage for a party switch. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If Adams does try to run as a Republican, look for Trump's team to make Curtis Lewa, who's been a vocal opponent of Adams, a tempting offer. Maybe a plum federal job, a spot on some board, or even a higher profile media gig. But let me tell you something. If you know Curtis Lewa like I know Curtis Lewa, there's no deal sweet enough to get him out of this race, especially if it means letting Adams become the GOP nominee. Even Reverend Sharpton, usually an ally of Adams, raised his eyebrows. Here's what he said on MSNBC yesterday.
Questioning on whether or not the mayor's trying to be pardoned for some of the indictments that he's facing. When you look at, he's had positive things to say about Donald Trump, who's been under attack by many of us. To say you're not going to raise your eyebrows would be being dishonest.
Exactly, Reverend Sharpton. What is this all about? Pardons, power, and party switching. It's all on the table. One thing's for sure, New Yorkers deserve a mayor who puts their interests above personal survival, and it's clear that Adams is looking out for himself, not the people of this city.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Ladies, you'll end up shopping for your guy's deodorant, right? So try Degree's Original Cool Rush. You see, last year, Degree changed the formula, and men were mad. One guy even started a petition. So Degree admitted they messed up and brought the Original Cool Rush scent back. It's clean, crisp, and actually smells like someone you want to cuddle. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So toss one in your cart and find out why it's the best-selling men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about fairness, practicality, and standing up for working people. 3 principles that Governor Phil Murphy has clearly embraced as he challenges New York's disastrous congestion pricing plan. For those of you unfamiliar with the details, congestion pricing is New York's plan to charge additional fees to drivers entering Lower Manhattan. I just got whacked with it on my way in earlier. Ostensibly to reduce traffic and fund the city's public transit system. Now, that might sound noble on paper, but in practice, it's a slap in the face to the hardworking people of New Jersey who already shell out for bridge and tunnel tolls just to make a living or visit family across the river. And Governor Murphy is absolutely right to call it what it is, a scheme, not a solution. Let's be clear, congestion pricing unfairly targets New Jersey commuters, many of whom rely on their cars because public transit options are limited or unaffordable. And as if that weren't bad enough, the plan doesn't account for the increased traffic and pollution that will inevitably spill over into New Jersey communities. Imagine paying more money to drive into Manhattan while watching your own town become more congested and polluted. It's absurd. And Governor Murphy is saying enough is enough. I applaud the letter he sent to President Trump yesterday requesting a re-examination of federal approval for this plan. By framing congestion pricing as a working and middle-class issue, Murphy is putting people over politics, and his efforts in court show that he's not just talking the talk, he's fighting this on every front. The Federal Highway Administration's repeated reevaluations of congestion pricing need to be scrutinized, and New Jersey's legal challenges are a critical part of holding the decision makers accountable. But Murphy isn't just fighting back. He's offering solutions. His $20 million NJ Rise program is a brilliant move. By incentivizing New York businesses to allow New Jersey residents to work remotely or in satellite offices within the Garden State, he's addressing the root problem, the need for better, more flexible work arrangements that don't force people into Manhattan in the first place. And the idea of promoting this program with billboards at bridges and tunnels, genius. It's a bold reminder to commuters that New Jersey is looking out for them. This is leadership, and I'm glad that Governor Murphy is willing to work with a president who I'm sure he didn't vote for, that he certainly didn't endorse, and who he probably doesn't even like very much, in order to stand up to a powerful neighbor, not out of spite or political posturing, but to protect the people of New Jersey from an unjust and poorly thought-out plan.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Let's take a moment to talk about the newest addition to the New York City subway system, the MTA's modern fare gates, complete with spiked barriers. Yes, you heard that right, spikes. The idea is to deter fare evasion, which cost the city an estimated $690 million annually, by making it more painful, or at least more difficult, to hop the turnstiles. Governor Kathy Hochul introduced this initiative during her State of the State address, and now the first of these gates has been installed at the Lexington Avenue 59th Street station. And on the surface, it's a bold, innovative move. Fare evasion is a real problem, and it's about time someone tried something new to tackle it. For that, the MTA deserves some credit. But is the solution really effective? Early reports suggest otherwise. Observers at the Lexington Avenue station watched as fare beaters continued to evade payment, some by climbing, others by simply getting creative. The spiked barriers didn't seem to intimidate everyone, and some commuters have raised concerns that these sharp edges could lead to injuries, not just for fare beaters, but for unsuspecting riders. One subway rider said it best, "It's a good attempt, but I don't think it's going to stop it." And that sentiment is echoed by many who see this as a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound. The real question is, why are so many people evading fares in the first place? Some fare evaders are simply taking advantage of the system, but others might not be paying because they can't afford to. And those of us who do pay, and pay more every year, it seems, are understandably frustrated. As one rider pointed out, I think it was in either AM New York or the New York Post, fare evasion impacts all of us. It means fewer resources for improvements, longer delays, and yes, higher fares. The MTA is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're trying to solve a real problem, and for that, I applaud their willingness to experiment. But spikes on turnstiles aren't going to restore trust in the system or make people feel safe. One rider put it plainly. She's scared to ride the subway, not because of fare beaters, but because of pickpockets, shoving incidents, and a general feeling that the system is spiraling out of control. If we want to fix the subway, we need a comprehensive approach. That means better enforcement against fare evasion, but it also means addressing affordability, improving safety, and ensuring that the subway works for everyone. Spikes might be a flashy headline. The MTA has taken a step, and that's better than standing still, but the real work lies ahead. New Yorkers deserve a subway system that's fair, functional, and safe for all. Let's hope this is just the beginning. To be continued.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
If you've spent any time in Bergen County, New Jersey, you're familiar with the so-called blue laws. These laws, dating back to the 17th century, prohibit most retail stores from selling non-essential items on Sundays. No clothes, no furniture, no appliances. It's like a county-wide pause button on consumerism for one day a week. But now the American Dream Mall, that massive entertainment complex in the Meadowlands, has decided the blue laws don't apply to them. They're letting stores stay open on Sundays while everyone else plays by the rules. Naturally, county officials are outraged. And honestly, I can't blame them. Whether you love the blue laws or hate them, they are the law. And unless the law changes, everyone has to follow it. Now, let me be clear. I don't like the blue laws, never have. I don't see why the government should tell people, private businesses, when they can shop and when they can't shop. If a family wants to spend Sunday afternoon buying a new couch, who's to say they shouldn't? And if businesses want to make some extra money on the weekend, why should the law stand in their way? But here's the thing. The law is the law, and if you don't like it, there's a process to change it. Petition your local representatives. Vote for candidates who promise to repeal the blue laws. Get the conversation going. That's how democracy works. What you don't do is just decide the law doesn't apply to you because you're a big shiny mall with a Ferris wheel. By flouting the blue laws, American Dream is giving its tenants an unfair advantage over every other business in Bergen County. Small businesses, many of which are already struggling, can't compete with that kind of selective enforcement. And if we let one business get away with ignoring the rules, what's to stop others from following suit? At that point, why bother having laws at all? The irony is that American Dream doesn't even need the extra day of shopping. With its water park, indoor ski slope, and endless attractions, the place could easily survive on entertainment revenue alone. So why risk alienating the community by ignoring a law that's been on the books for probably centuries? Look, the blue laws are controversial, and maybe it is time for them to go. But until that happens, American Dream and every other business in Bergen County needs to play by the same rules. Because if we allow laws to be enforced based on the size of a business or the flashiness of its attractions, then we're opening the door to chaos. So whether you agree with the blue laws or not, the solution is simple. Follow the law. If you don't like it, work to change it. But don't pick and choose which rules to obey just because you think you're special. Because no one, not even a mega mall with a 300-foot Ferris wheel, is above the law.
Beam me up!
To be continued.